Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson, channeling Man in the Moon. I'm going to do a reading about the Chinese balloon here in a moment, but could you all just take one moment here and say a little prayer for my friend Jacinta? She's just had an operation, and I want to make sure that it goes well for her. Thanks so much. I'm going to do the same. Right. So let's take a look at the balloon. What's going on with the balloon? Okay, it's a funny image. Okay, it's a balloon, but it has a passenger, and the passenger is President Xi. I hope I'm spelling it well. I know it's an XI of China. He's like a passenger, is like in this little spot, and when the balloon sinks, he um he does go down, right? Like he's gonna crash. So initially, I think this is quite bad for China. Getting caught doing this is not beneficial to them. There's a jet, and it's like the jet makes an effort to rescue the Chinese premier. The jet's looping around, it's moving around him as he's falling desperately. Now, the jet does manage to save him just before he hits the ground, and is not necessarily a Chinese fighter. I don't quite know what this means. Oh, I think it's a metaphor. I think that the meaning here is that um, Xi is really dependent on the Americans now. That the power has shifted. And he's looking really nervous, the president of China. I don't know if it's a president or premier. Sorry, I don't know my um, Chinese politics as well as I could. But in any case, he's looking nervous. He's looking left and right at the people who are backing him, and he's not feeling very powerful at the moment. All right, so what's China gonna do? A lot of song and dance. All right, so he's like getting up to the piano. He's ding 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 ding, playing this piano. Like, hey, look at me, look at me. Lots of song and dance, and it's disappointing a lot of people, even in China. They're disappointed at how badly this looks, how bad it's going. This is a second major blow for him. First, there was COVID. Now there's this. The people are not so happy, and I know he did moved in such a way to proclaim himself, sort of a king long term. He's usually they step down and take turns, but he's not doing that. So this is a third major shift for China, a major. It doesn't make them look good outside of China. All three of these. And I get it's an alert. It's like a red alert button for everyone. Like, pay attention, pay attention. Uh, so, is he thinking of invading Taiwan? They're thinking about it. This has not been a good omen for him. That is the fact that he was caught means that others are paying attention to what he's doing. And so he's kind of was, I think he was considering invading Taiwan, but now he's reconsidering it. Among other things, it will not be good for him economically. And he's balancing like, well, this is a distraction. Invading Taiwan would be a distraction. And don't look at that. Don't look at the economy. Look at this. Look at that. Look at how aggressive we're being. And on the other hand, there are these Chinese business people who are like, I couldn't care less about this Taiwan. What I care about is how much money I made in the last quarter. And we're the guys that are supporting you indirectly. So, you know, why do you care about that? How is that going to benefit us today? By the time we start making money out of Taiwan, I'll be dead. So what do I care? It's really, there is an undercurrent of powerful, unnamed people who are looking at what Putin did and saying, who benefited from that? Are they ever going to get out of that? Even if they succeed, which I don't think they will, but even if they did, they'd be, 500 years of trying to occupy a hostile country, right? So they're not necessarily seeing a benefit here. And he is also kind of stumped. The president of China is just like, I don't know. What do I do? And it's very interesting, there's these sort of, politicians show, and they just show these things and they show themselves and they make these statements and stuff. It's not policy. It's not a fundamental thing. It's just this whole media, dance. It's just a show, and it can work for a while, but it will not make the business people of China happy. It will not make the average worker in China happy. So this has more importance than we know, more importance perhaps than we have realized, that there are the elements of political change involved here. It might be that all she can do is it G, I don't know. All he can do is try to maintain his power and weight. The general gestalt is that, like, China's existed for thousands and thousands of years. So why would we act now? Why not wait a few years? I'll still be here. I just need to survive politically, and then I will make my choices. There's something blinding him. So, like, imagine an eclipse, but the eclipse stops, and then there's the sun, and it's just blinding in his face. Um, and I have to notice the sun's now hitting my eyes, you guys. But something's blinding him, and it's like the truth, the reality of maybe the Chinese economy wasn't that good. And the reality is that they were very dependent on other nations to make their products there and to buy the products that they made there. This can change. One thing about the COVID showed that these supply chains, these supply lines, it can't just be the cheapest. It can't just be where the workers are the most exploited. And there are other factors like the stability of China, or the fact that if China did attack Taiwan, then we might stop manufacturing there and China would be thrown back a generation economically. He does not have that much power. His only power really is the power to wait and be patient. And I see him disappointed. I see this sort of like, oh, here's the crest of a wave, not really. Here's the crest of a wave, not really. Just sort of incremental shifts. Biden, however, seems pretty happy. And I get he did the right thing with the balloon. The timing was actually right. And it's pretty smart. So Biden actually waits for the Republicans to say, "Oh, look at him, Biden and that balloon," and oh my God. And then the minute they make that statement, reports are released where they say, well, actually, 5 flew under Trump and they weren't shot down. So he is a little bit more savvy than I would have given him credit for. Yeah, Biden is cleverer than we think. And obviously, he has people to help him, but he's no dum dum. He's just not flashy. He's more a wise elderly man, which is maybe what we need now. Every time I tune into Biden, I see like brightness, bright lights. I see success. What else can we know about this balloon? This time, the Democrats were thoughtful and they didn't just do the right thing. They played the right thing in a political way so that they would come out on top. China would be humiliated, and the Republicans would make yet another misstep. This is why they chose him. This is why the Democrats chose him, because he does have a lot of experience. And unlike Trump, he's not at all charismatic. But that's not why they chose him. They didn't choose him for his charisma. They chose him for his experience and, to some degree, his calmer demeanor. That was a calculated choice that appeals more to the voters that really matter. And these are the swing voters, especially women, who are going to make the difference in the long term future. All right. Thanks so much for watching.